And can you see my screen?
No, what happened to it? What the heck? Share your screen. Do you see my screen?
I do see your screen, actually, yes. Which is good. And you can continue sharing that because I'll be able to keep an eye on what you're doing and help guide you through what we're doing. So,
Oh.
whenever you're doing something that I'm mentioning, make sure it's
Uh-huh.
on this screen right here where ZBrush is. So that, because we're going to be doing a few other things too before we get into ZBrush. So I'll be able to watch that.
Okay. And but you got it, right?
Yeah, I've got ZBrush on your screen. That's
Okay, and
perfectly
I got
fine.
yours.
Yep.
I got yours.
Oh, you have my screen right here. You can see the XP pen configuration.
All I see is all I see is
This
the program up.
XP pen, right?
Yeah. Sorry. I was looking for a pin.
Okay. So this configuration utility is real badass. Sorry, I clicked on the logo. That'll take you to the XP pen website. Um,
Okay, I'm good.
so this configuration program is real cool.
What happened?
What now?
Oh, I couldn't see the top of my I'm not seeing my menu. This has been messing up. So sometimes I restart it. Come on.
You have to drag the window over to the left, and then you can drag the right hand side.
You see, I don't have my menu. I got to restart this. I don't know what's up.
Wait,
Okay.
hang on. Cancel that. Go up to. Oh, you can't.
No, that's what I'm saying. Oh, wait. Whoops, wrong one.
No, that's Live Bouillon and Lightbox. That you don't have, like you said, you don't
Okay.
have your menu at the top.
All right, let me restart it.
Go ahead and maximize that. Hit that middle button at the top. Yeah, there you go. No, I don't
No,
know. I don't know.
I don't either. Every once in a while it messes up.
Well,
But
we're going to be actually talking about something that will help you with that.
oh, okay. Well, I'll start it up while you're talking then. I got to my C drive. I got to clear some more stuff out. So I think it'll be fine as soon as I do.
Yeah, we're actually going to go into a reason why you're going to need to make sure that you have uh, your C drive clear. I'm going to explain some things about ZBrush and what it does.
Okay.
So yeah, you're going to need clear space.
All right.
Um,
But I'm not seeing you yet. So I can't use it while this is loading. That's one thing. It turns white and then I can't do anything with my mouse.
okay, no problem.
I can on my second one, my second screen.
So you still see my XP pen program?
No,
Okay,
no, I'm fixing it. As soon
okay,
as this loads up, I'll get it.
okay.
It should be just a couple more seconds. Hopefully it'll load correctly. If not, I'll have to restart my computer. I just turned it on too. I didn't sleep it. Maybe I should have. Come on. Of course, I did just get an update on this, and I think this is new. I never remember seeing watch stream.
Oh yeah, Discord.
Yeah, come on, start up. Is it usually this slow, XP?
ZBrush.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, ZBrush takes a little while to start up.
okay, good. I mean, not good, but good. My computer's not. Okay, let me move it over now. Minimize. And
Okay,
Oh, I got my.
you got your
Yeah.
your menu.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't worry about that for right now.
Okay, let me get you back. You got a castle behind you?
Yep, castle behind, and I've got the XP pin configuration software up.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
Okay, so first of all, you've got a drop down that lets you choose what you're going to configure. Right,
Oh, okay,
right now we're configuring the Deco Pro tablet.
okay. Do you want me to get mine out, or are you just talking?
It's up to you.
Well, I definitely couldn't tell any different pressures last night, that's for sure. Uh, but I didn't change this right here that you got up. Let me see, let me find it.
You shouldn't need to.
Okay. Dude, I forgot what I was looking for. Oh, it's all the way down at the bottom, right? Where are you at?
It should be in your sys tray.
Down here? I'm not seeing it. It's up here somewhere. Oh, come on. Well, I just got on it yesterday.
It's in your
Oh, and
sys
I
tray.
think, huh?
It's in your sys tray.
What's a sister?
If you look on my computer, I'm showing you.
Oh, 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 assist tray. Gotcha.
Sys. S
Oh,
Y
oh,
S. Like
oh.
system.
Okay, there's Discord. There's
Stands for system tray.
let's see if it comes up. No. Oh, yeah, it came up. It's just behind. Or is that me? Oh, yeah, that's me. I thought that was you yet. Now, where is, see, I don't have that line.
Okay, that's because your remote is turned off.
Yes, sir, it
So,
sure is.
you don't need to configure the remote if you don't want to use it. If you don't want to use it, we don't need to go into it.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got you. I got you. Okay. Well, I turned it
Okay,
on, so
there you
we
go.
won't.
There you go. You've got the shortcut remote there. You've got
Yeah,
both of them.
yeah, I
But
turned it on.
but if you just want to use the keyboard, we can pass by that.
Oh, yeah, because I don't have it memorized yet, so I need to turn it off then. It's all right, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't really bother anything, but you can turn it off. That's okay. So yeah, that second tab right there is all about configuring the pen. So if I pick up my pen and I start pressing on the surface of the pen or the tablet with it,
Mm-hmm.
it's telling me what my that my pressure sensitivity is working right there.
Mine don't do that. Oh, it is now. It wouldn't do that last night. I'll be darned. And I checked it and checked it and checked it. Sweet. Let me put my gloves on. I don't want to mess nothing up.
And then I can test that right here.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Dude, I am tired, but I'll get there. All right. Uh,
Pretty cool, right?
woo, yeah, but I can. There we go. I'm shaking. Look at that. I'm trying to do it real light, but okay. Got you.
All right. And then the gear icon, if you end up getting some configurations in here that you really want to keep,
Huh?
you can export the config and save it as a backup
Oh,
for future like say you have to format Windows and reinstall.
mm-hmm.
Um, then you can keep the configuration file backed up on an external drive,
Sweet.
and that will allow you to just load that right back in. And trust me, sometimes that's a godsend.
Hmm.
It depends on how far you want to go with your configurations, and I'll show you why that might be beneficial for you.
Okay.
But I'm going to go up to the first tab, which is Device. It's a little
Hmm.
icon of the tablet itself,
Hmm.
and we're going to check the work area. Okay, yours is set only to your primary monitor, and it's currently set to your full screen, just like mine is.
Yeah, it's on number two. And I also noticed there's a button down there for number one or number two screen, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess we don't need it.
Yeah, it just depends on which monitor you want to use.
Right.
So, what you don't want is all monitor, unless you want to draw across both monitors.
I
I,
almost did it that way.
I don't know. Maybe some people like that. um, but okay, so that will do it for that. Now, um, up here at the top,
Hmm.
this bar will be the same for the tablet and the remote. You see,
Okay.
my bar looks different when I switch between the two because I have special configurations for the remote, and I
For
have
blend.
and I have the same configuration no matter what across anything. This is your default configuration,
Okay.
right?
Uh-huh.
And if I want to have a special configuration for the tablet for Blender as opposed to ZBrush or Photoshop or whatever, then I can do that by clicking this button, and it allows me to select applications on my
Yeah.
computer. Okay, I can scroll through this,
Hmm.
and if I don't see the application that I want, then I can click Browse and go to, you know, program files or wherever a program is installed. Then I can
Hmm.
pick up the exe for that
Okay.
program, and it will add it to this list and to this
Okay.
bar. And then you'll have a special configuration for that program that applies either to the tablet or the remote.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing Blender, so I'll have to go do that. I'm not worried about it now, though. Yeah, the only thing I really needed to know is which file, the exe file. Cool.
I
Oh
would
yeah, all I had to do is look. That's all they are. Okay.
There's ZBrush there, but it probably isn't going to pick up Blender because we're using Blender Launcher.
Oh, okay.
So you would have to go directly to where Blender is installed and pick it up. But I wouldn't do that until you reach a point where you're like, I want Blender to be different than the default.
Okay.
If
Oh,
if you end up having that thought or preference, then you can
yes.
come here and you can say, yes, I want this to be different than the default. But if
Well, and it actually, I don't know. So it's just the default because I can actually use the pen on the second screen no matter what I got up there. In other words, I can use it on my even my internet. I can go up here, so I can use my pen instead of the mouse. Is what I'm saying.
on your second monitor,
Yeah, sure can.
so
So in other words, when I'm getting my pen, what I can do is I can actually, I'm shaking like crazy. Holy crap! I can come up here and hit them. See
right,
that? How I highlighted?
right.
But that,
Um,
but I'm good with that. I don't, I'm not worried. That means I can use my pen in Blender.
well, if you're okay with it, then that's probably fine. Um, yours might be set to all monitor,
Um,
so it's in work area at the tablet at the top left. Work area, work area.
well, let me look at your. Oh,
It's only on your screen right now. It's at the bottom middle. No,
right there.
no. You go to the tablet tab on the left. The tablet icon on the left. You were in the right one.
Oh, my bad.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Monitor two.
Um. So set full screen in the bottom left. Now try it.
Yep. Can't believe I'm shaking
See,
like
I
crazy.
can't. My 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 mouse stops at the edge.
I'll be done.
I can't go any further.
Oh shoot! See, I could take mine all the way to my first screen. My mouse. I don't know if I could take the pen to the first screen. I haven't tried that. Nope. Stops at the edge of number two.
Can you?
But it works. I don't need it
Oh
for.
wait, you are using this. You do have the secondary monitor up.
Yes, sir.
You don't have the
Yeah, that's
first one.
right.
So that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Extending. You only want to use it on one monitor. I'm assuming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's okay
I
as long as it's the
I just
monitor that you want to use when you're using ZBrush or Blender.
wow, that battery's no good. I'm gonna have to get them. I'm gonna have to call them. Look at the battery up there. I didn't even use it but an hour.
But that's what I'm telling you. The
Oh,
the charge, it takes a long time to charge it because the capacity on the battery is ridiculous.
okay. So I should keep charging even if it said it was charged?
I would charge it right now. Um,
Yeah, it's charging. It's hooked up to the computer.
yeah, so
Yes.
you're good. You're fine.
Okay.
Trust me. Your battery probably didn't fill up, most likely,
Oh,
on your
yeah.
initial usage because the battery capacity is absolutely ridiculous on this thing. Once it's
Okay.
fully charged, you should be able
Yeah.
to use it for like 15 hours or something straight
Wow.
before it's dead.
Sweet.
I don't even know. But anyway, this this should be good for you. And you can come back here if you need to.
Okay.
Okay. The next thing that we are looking at is GoB for Blender and ZBrush. And I'm going to send you a link in Discord.
Okay. Gotcha. Copy. Now let me get you back. Um, I don't remember how to get you back. Boom! I did it. Holy crap! I'm learning. What happened to my internet? There we go.
Okay, on the right hand side, you're going to
Hmm.
see releases, GoB underscore V4 underscore 1 underscore 7.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and click that. And then scroll down and grab the source code zip.
Okay. I could put that with the XP driver, couldn't I?
I would put it in your Blender add-ons because that's exactly what this is. It's a Blender add-on, but it's going to configure ZBrush for you.
Okay.
So it's not just a Blender add-on. It's kind of a ZBrush configuration as well. So wherever you put the rest of your add-ons for Blender when you download them, store it right there.
I don't know where I put them. I've been in this one. Not Blender Project. Hell, I don't remember where I put them. Oh, that's C. I don't want to look in there anyway. I don't think. There's D. R. There. Oh, I put it in documents, didn't I? That's downloads. Where's documents? I don't know where I put it. I'm just going to put it up there. Because it doesn't have to be with them. I can make my own folder, right?
Yeah, I have a custom folder where I just save everything on my external drive.
And that's what I was just checking. I don't know why I can't find it. Blender Secrets. Nope. That's all right. All right. What's it called, actually, that I would know what it is?
Uh, Name that Blender add-ons.
Okay.
And then go into that folder, and then just save it.
Let's see if it works.
And it's
No,
already.
I got to do it again. Oh, yeah, I got to do it again. I had to do it yesterday twice. Let's see. I don't know why I got to do it twice. That worked. Okay. Nope. Change screens for some reason. All right. I'll just unpack it here, huh?
Yeah, let's. Try installing that. I'm not sure if that will work or not. So open Blender.
Okay. All right.
And then go to your edit preferences. Add-ons on the left. And then the little down arrow in the top right hand corner of the preferences window. Yep. Install from disk.
I got to unpack it. It won't. Well, I never tried it. They always told me to unpack it. So
That's not usually what you do.
Oh,
You usually do not unpack Blender add-ons. In this case, you might, and it de-
darn rule,
it
Raul.
depends on how it's packaged. It always
Oh
depends
my,
on how it's packaged.
look at there it is right there. There's my add-ons.
Those are your backup zips
Okay.
from the other install.
No, this is what I got now. Power save manage. This is what's on now. This is my recent one. Cause
Okay.
see, it says
Oh.
4.3.
Okay.
So I should just put it now on, huh? Since I found it, and then and then I'll delete the other one. Come on, open. Now, do I put it in here or just make a different folder? You want it in here, right? It don't matter to me.
You can put it in here. The only
Yeah.
thing that matters is being able to get to it. That's the only thing that makes a difference.
Well, I was looking, see it to see users.
So you can
I don't
take
know
that
why I did that.
address and
Uh-huh.
left click on that address at the top,
Uh-huh.
copy, Control C,
Okay.
then open up a new uh, Windows browser. So you've got one right there with GoZ at the top or GoB at the top. So open a new one because you don't have tabs, do you? You've got Windows 10 or Windows 11.
I got Windows 10, but this is this my browser? This ain't my browser anyway.
That is your browser. That's your Microsoft Windows File Explorer.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about. You want a new window.
okay.
So go down to your taskbar at the bottom
Uh-huh.
and hover over the folder icon.
Yep.
Hover over it and click the
Open.
middle mouse button.
Oh, really? Sweet. Oh, wow. That's cool. I always right click and say open. Okay, there we are.
You should have two Windows Explorer files. All I see is Firefox right now.
Oh, I went to the wrong one. Uh,
Folder icon.
do I?
Folder icon.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you've got two of
there it
those
is.
now.
Yeah.
Go to that address bar.
Oh,
Bring it up so you can type in it. There you go. Now hit Control V. Enter. There. Now you're in the folder. And you can drag that GoB zip file that's at the top, and you can drag that and drop it in there. There you go.
okay.
And then you can close the Windows Explorer at the top.
This one?
Yeah. Okay. Now back to Blender. Okay.
Why you don't work?
So it's not showing.
Oh,
Okay. So you want the Blender file view right there at the bottom. At the bottom. At the bottom. Drag that up. There you go. Okay. So you're in that folder right now, and it's not showing that file because we just put it in there. So you just
okay.
need to refresh. Hit the refresh button at the
Okay.
top. It's that that one right there. Now it's there. Double
Yep.
click on that,
Sweet.
and let's see if it will install. Okay, doesn't look like it's going to.
Well, sometimes, is that it?
No, type in go. Type in go. Oh, there it is. Okay,
Yeah, I did it. Sometimes I just click in it and it comes up, but it changes all the time.
okay, you've got it. Okay, now we need to configure this real quick. It's just
Okay.
one little thing that we have to do.
Okay.
and where it
I'm watching.
says ZBrush path.
I'm watching. Let me see your arrow. I'm not seeing ZBrush pack. Oh, there you go. Yep, got it. Okay.
That's my ZBrush path right there.
Uh-huh.
So if you did not change your install location when you installed ZBrush,
Uh-huh.
your installation of ZBrush is going to be right here.
But no, I didn't change anything.
Okay, so same.
Is it this is file is it
Program files.
no, I think I put it in documents somewhere. Remember?
I wasn't there when you installed it.
No, but we looked at it. No, actually you were because you gave me launcher and we redid it. Right?
Blender launcher. We're talking
Huh?
about ZBrush.
Oh. I'm sorry, dude. I am dingy. I didn't sleep much last night. Okay. No, that's not what I'm gonna do, is it?
Nope.
ZBrush
So
is in.
here's a cheat.
Uh-huh.
Find your ZBrush icon.
Okay, got it.
Right click on it. Select
Yeah.
properties.
Um,
If it's on the taskbar, it's not going to give it to you.
okay.
So you can take that icon and you can drag it to your desktop, and you'll get the options that I'm talking about.
It won't even let me do that.
Okay. So I can search for it in the bottom left on Windows, like the Windows search that's right
Yeah.
next to your start button.
Yeah, I got it.
And you can right click on the icon, just like this, and then open file location. There you go.
There we go.
Okay, now that's where
Where
the
am
short.
I at? Jeez.
Not that. That's not where you want to be. You want to right
Okay.
click on that ZBrush icon right there because that's a shortcut.
This one? Or the one that's highlighted? Oh, shortcut, gotcha.
And
Open.
properties. Or you can open. Yeah, there you go. So it's just in your D root drive, root
Okay.
folder. So it's not. There's no subdirectories or anything except for ZBrush.
Oh, okay. So I need to go find that. Is that what you I can't do nothing here?
Yeah, close that. You got all the information you needed.
Easy brush. Look, it's right there.
No, that's
Oh,
your.
no, that's a shortcut. Okay.
Yeah. So just hit the arrow icon on the C. There you go.
Holy crap, they're all open.
D ZBrush.
There we go. Okay. You still see my screen, don't you?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so ZBrush EXE right there. So
I'm looking for it. Should be around here. Oh, there we go. Okay, right there.
Yep. Okay, so you need to guide Blender to this location. Right now you're just using Windows Explorer.
Okay. I don't quite understand. How do I do that?
take the address that you have at the top. Do
Yeah.
the same thing that you did just a minute ago. Bring it up so you can type. Right there. Copy that. Control
Copy.
C.
Okay.
Minimize your window.
Now,
All right. In the address bar at the top where it says C, Control V,
mhm.
and enter. And then scroll down, and ZBrush EXE will be in there. Actually, I think you can just accept that.
Yep.
No, mine does have ZBrush EXE.
Okay.
Okay, so click that folder icon again one more time, and then scroll down, and ZBrush
Right
EXE.
there.
Yep. Left click and then accept.
There it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now in the bottom left, save preferences. Preferences have been saved,
Yeah.
and you can go ahead and close this. Now in Blender, hit
Uh-huh.
Shift A.
There we go. Whoops. There.
And Mesh, Monkey. Now you have a monkey.
Uh-huh.
All right. Look on my screen.
Yep.
You have 3 brand new buttons in the top right-hand corner.
Oh, yeah.
Export, import, and manual. Okay?
And okay. Uh-huh.
So what I want to do is left-click on the monkey to select it.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you're always going to do. You're always going to have, you're going to select the items that you want to send over to ZBrush.
Okay.
So right now we just have the monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Click export. And sit back and just chill for a minute.
Okay.
There you go.
Wow.
So now you have, not only have you sent the monkey over to ZBrush, but you've also began the configuration process for getting Blender working with ZBrush so that you can export stuff from
I got
ZBrush
you.
over to Blender. So you started that process.
Cool.
So now
That's
the
fun.
next thing that you need to do to make that happen, let me go ahead and send the monkey over as well so I can have something to show you. This right here is the
Visible.
reset the selected GoZ enabled application. Click that. Okay. It's asking about Cinema 4D. We're not worried about that. Tell it
Yeah.
that it's not installed. 3D Studio Max. We're not worried about that. Not installed. Maya. Not worried about that. Not installed. Photoshop. Not installed. And go ahead and cancel. And then close ZBrush.
Do I
No.
need to save changes?
No, that's just for projects. If you're working on a project, then yeah, you want to do that.
Okay.
And then go ahead and try it one more time. And you just export.
Oh, try this and export?
Yeah. We're going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm not sure if it will come up.
With it not open?
Yeah.
It still looks like
No,
it's open.
it's gonna open up. It's gonna open
Oh.
ZBrush, but I'm not
Okay.
sure if it will be good from what we just did.
Okay, it's opening. I got to put it on the first screen actually to bring that floppy disk up, and if I come over here, I can run the second monitor. But if I click anything on the first screen, it turns white. It's weird. Let me see where I'm at here. Yep, still loading. Well, it's loading. I'm gonna go get me a smoke, bro.
Okay.
All right, I'm back. I promise I'm not a dunce, man. I'm just tired. Hell, I did, what was it, about 50 yards of nothing but honeysuckle on honeysuckle and briar patches on a fence line. And then I had to cut the trees clear, and it's just a, oh, what is this? How come that comes up? Unable to save file. I got close to 2 of them. Does yours come up too?
I can't see what you're talking about.
There's a little window on my #1 monitor because that's where ZBrush opens up, and then I got to move it over. And before it starts opening, it's got 2 little, like the warning windows, but it says that it can't save the file. Oh, maybe because that's a project I worked on before, huh? Without saving it.
That's probably what that is. Yes.
Well, I also read this morning. I've seen a video because I was wondering how in the heck do you get 2 tools on 1 canvas? And then I watched it, and it was just so easy. But I thought it was like Blender.
Oh no, it's everything ZBrush does is
Uh-huh.
its own way of doing stuff.
Okay, it should be almost ready to come up. Well, you know that thing I made last night? There it is. I'll bring it over. That thing I did last night, I mean, I was just testing brush. I was playing with brushes,
Mm-hmm.
and they started getting forms. So I actually put eyebrows on it with a light line cutter.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. No.
Okay, go back to the
Uh-oh, what happened?
you click the bottom of the window.
Oh,
Go back to the R.
yeah. Hear it?
Yep. There you go. Now
Sweet.
Blender is set up as your current GoZ enabled application. So let's go ahead and
Cool.
test that out.
Okay. Do
We're
I
going
cancel it?
we're going to yeah, just cancel.
Why is that doing that? Oh, that was weird. My floppy came up.
Okay, so all we're going to do is make some changes of any kind to this monkey, and then we're going
Okay.
to just something quick and simple, easy, no big deal, and then we're going to send it back over to Blender.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm on edit. I'm using my mouse right now.
So am I. See, there you go.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. Now we're going to go back up, and we've
Uh-huh.
got, I'm just going to explain a few things here.
Okay.
All right, so this button right here will export whatever the current subtool is. In other words, if you have a bunch of tools, a bunch of they're called subtools. Anytime
Oh,
you have
okay.
separate things, so I can append a cylinder to this.
Right. And then just move it over because the monkey's inside that. Yeah, that's what I read this morning. Yep. Yep. Because I was watching him. He had a chest and he added a head to it and he changed the hands. It was
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so these are referred to as subtools, and you can have thousands of them. And you can have
Right.
folders and all kinds of shit in here. Okay?
Oh,
So
okay.
whatever the current subtool is that is selected will that's what will get sent over.
Okay.
If I click all, then that is all of the
Ooh.
subtools in the entire project, and no matter what. And so you can have a a character that has a belt and it has armor and it has a shotgun slug
Okay.
strap going across his chest with shotgun slugs in it, and each shotgun slug might be a subtool. And so by the end of the day, by the time you create a character like that, you could have hundreds and hundreds of subtools, and it will literally send every single one of them over if you click the all button.
Okay. Okay.
And then visible will send only what is visible. So if I click this eyeball and I click the visible button, the only thing that's
Oh,
going to wind up there is the monkey.
gotcha.
But right now, we're just going to click the GoZ button and then head back over to, oh yeah,
What is it? Just
yeah, you don't need to worry about it. Just say don't show again, and that's fine. And then switch over to Blender.
what happened? Oh, wrong one. There we go.
Okay, guess what?
It didn't work.
It didn't do anything.
Uh-huh.
And I purposefully did this way so that you would see it.
Oh, okay.
In the top right, we have another button, and that's called Import.
Okay.
So what this means is it is setting this current Blender that I have, this one right here, as the one that is going to accept GoZ transfers. So, in other words, I can turn this on.
Uh-huh.
Now it will work. And what this means is I could actually have multiple Blender windows open, and I only want one of them selected as import.
Which would be the visible one.
It's whichever Blender that you want to, receive those
Right.
files. Okay.
Okay.
So if we have that selected, okay. Now go back over to ZBrush.
Oh,
And
okay.
hit Go Z.
And now I need Blender.
Just hit Alt Tab.
Oh.
But
Oh, yeah.
anyway, now you have
Yep.
that. Okay. So there are different ways of receiving this. You can actually keep the old one if you want to, and then have a duplicate, which is the modified version from ZBrush, be a secondary monkey in there.
Okay.
If you want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so Control Z, that undoes it, and now we have the original monkey right there. So deselect. I'm going to do what you did. So there's the modified version. I'm going to deselect. I'm going to undo, deselect it, and try that one more time. So what I would have to do is rename this. If I rename Suzanne, we'll call it original, and then deselect that, and then go Z one more time. I get both of them.
Okay. So let me try. It should be.
Anything will do just fine. Yeah, there you
go. Okay, now I thought I deselected it. Oh, I got it over here.
It won't matter because you have renamed it this time.
Okay, and now I go Z.
Yep. And then back to Blender. Now you have two of them.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So you can use this both ways.
Oh,
Sometimes
man.
you can use it so that it updates the model that you originally sent over to ZBrush,
Hmm.
or you can have it create a brand new one.
Okay. And then so over here, how come it didn't show up? Ain't that gonna show up?
Show up what?
Shouldn't it? I mean, I've got two of them, so shouldn't the other one show up when I click on it?
They're in exactly the same location, so it is already
Oh,
there. It's already there.
got you. Okay, I got you.
You can turn off the eyeball on Suzanne. There's the
Oh,
original.
okay. So if I got three or four characters or whatever, I can put them in Blender and move them around and do my scene.
Um, where this is mostly beneficial is
Hmm.
keeping your original so that just in case you ever want to go back,
Oh,
you have backups, you have duplicates within your scene that you can
okay.
recall at any point in time. Say that you
Yeah.
get further down the pipeline and you're like, wait a minute, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Well, you still have your original before you did anything to it.
Okay. Awesome.
So there are other things that GoB does that is very cool, but we're just going to take it slow today.
Yes.
Um, and now you know how to create something in Blender, and then you can send it over to ZBrush, or you can create it originally in ZBrush and send it over to Blender, or you can send them back and forth in any way that you want. So you
Okay.
can create something in Blender, send it over to ZBrush, modify it, and send it back, and vice versa.
Awesome. I'll practice that.
I'm going to go ahead and close Blender for now because this is all I wanted to do for that.
Okay. Let's see. I don't need that window, or do I?
Yeah, you
I
don't
don't
need
need
that.
this.
No.
No, no.
Okay. So I have PureRef open, and I
Uh-huh.
have these clips from a helmet from a game called Skyrim,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what we're gonna make this
Okay.
from different angles.
Okay.
So would you like to follow along?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to.
At least for most of it, yeah. I mean,
Okay. So
yeah, because I need to learn the brush strokes and stuff. But if I slow you up, then all I got to do is go get that and practice. Yeah.
and the recording. Well, you're gonna have the recording, so
Oh,
you're gonna
so no. Okay, then no. You rock and roll, and that'll shorten us up, and then I can practice that tonight. Yeah.
if you're sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. And that way I can concentrate on this instead of taking my eyes off and trying to do something.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and send you the zip file that is going to contain all of these shots right here.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So, a couple things about PureRef, real quick.
Hmm.
Um, what you can do is number one, you can bring the images into PureRef in the order that you want them to be.
Okay.
The naming does not mean anything at all. It doesn't matter what the name is
Gotcha.
to achieve what I'm going to show you. The only thing that
Okay.
matters is the order that you bring them in. So you would
Oh, I got them.
drag this one,
Hmm.
and then I want my front view first, and I want my
Hmm.
side view next. And the reason why is I want to be able to cycle through these. So first of all, I'm going to double click on the first one from the front view. And then I'm going to hit my right arrow on my keyboard, and it cycles
Oh,
to the next image. Right
sweet.
arrow, right arrow, right arrow, right arrow, right arrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I can go back in the opposite direction with my left arrow.
Okay.
So where this is really beneficial is for these two images right here. And this way I can cycle between the front view and the side view back and forth very easily and quickly.
Okay.
So once
And that's
again,
because you're building the base first, right?
yeah, I'm going to build a base first, and I want to make
Okay.
sure that this matches up to what I'm going to, what I'm sculpting.
Right. Right.
Once again, that was drag the first image that you want in the arrow cycle process. You drag
Mm-hmm.
the first one in, and then the
Mm-hmm.
second one, and then the
Okay.
rest of these don't make a difference if you don't care what their order is. I
Okay.
did it because I wanted it to kind of turn
Oh yeah, I got you. I can see it. 45 each direction of the.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then your size and position of the pure ref window is such that I can set it right. You see how my canvas and ZBrush is right behind it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to position this so that my helmet is basically right in the center of the screen.
Okay.
Then I'm going to go to ZBrush, and I'm going to turn on see-through, and I'm just going to drag this up to like 20 or something like that. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to
Get rid of
delete
him.
and delete. Now notice that when I'm in a tray or one of these buttons right here, nothing is happening. It looks normal, even
Mm-hmm.
though I have see-through turned on at the top.
Mm-hmm.
But once I go into the canvas, I can
Oh,
see right through ZBrush, and I can see that image behind it.
cool. Oh yeah, and that pen, bro, it's so much easier to fine tune shapes. Oh, that was awesome last night.
And the direction of your strokes and stuff like that, if you
Mm,
want a stroke that is real curvy and you want it to be real specific, and this is kind of why I chose this helmet, because one, it's basic, but two, it has some very specific curves and angles and shapes to it. And
mm-hmm.
so we're kind of achieving, simplicity, so we can keep this super basic, but we have enough that we can go over this, like your first, few things.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to keep, we're going to make that into a poly mesh. So
Okay.
that turned Sphere 3D into PM 3D, Sphere 3D.
Um, okay, so it's going to say PM when it does that?
When you, yeah,
Oh, polymesh. Gotcha. Polymesh, yeah.
yeah, poly mesh 3D. So
Okay.
I was on Sphere 3D. I clicked
Yes.
that button and it made a duplicate of it, and it calls it PM3D Sphere 3D.
Okay. That way you don't have to keep hitting that button. Gotcha.
Okay, so number one, see my interface looks different than yours.
Yeah, I'm
So
fixing to take care of that.
you know how to customize the interface?
I've watched it a couple times and I did it and then I reset it uh, because I wasn't sure. And then I went to do it yesterday and forgot how to do it. So I got to go back to the video. Yeah. But it's real easy as long as I can remember.
Well, I mean, I can cover it if you want.
But yeah, if you got the time, yeah.
It's all about you,
I mean,
buddy. I'm free
I,
today, so
That'd be fine because I'd rather learn from you than I would other videos.
Okay.
You know, because
I'll,
there's so many different, and with you, it's one. You know.
there you go. That's very true. That's very true. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and go into UI customization. And before we start this, number one, I have this quick menu
Uh-huh.
that I've created. This is a
Okay.
completely custom menu that I have made, and I have bound that to my caps lock, so I can recall this menu anytime I want.
Hmm.
And this is a collection of all of my most common tools that I prefer to
Okay.
use
Mm-hmm.
in ZBrush. And the more you learn about ZBrush, the more you use ZBrush, the more you're going to have like your own preferred way of doing things, your own
Mm-hmm.
preferred tools and things like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so when I identify one of those, um, then I come over and I add that item to this menu. And then that way, I don't have to search through miles and miles of palettes and sub palettes in order to find, the options that I use most.
Yeah, especially if you don't close them. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can go ahead and do that if you want.
The menu?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you get, yeah, you bet.
I would suggest it for the pen um, for a couple different reasons. Number one, by default, when you right click with your mouse,
Uh-huh.
after you do that, go ahead and yeah, bring up a model. There, yeah, okay, there you go. Right click.
Yeah.
I don't like this with the pen
Okay.
because I'm constantly accidentally hitting the very first button on my pen, which is
Space bar, yeah.
which is a right click.
Well, you got space bar that works too.
Yeah, the space bar will bring that up.
Yeah.
If you want to keep this, yes, space bar. Um, but I want to disable my right click way of bringing that up because I'm
Okay.
always accidentally bumping that button with my thumb
Gotcha.
as I draw with the pen. It happens all the time. So
Okay. It's a safety procedure, yeah, without okay. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So in order to do that, you go to Preferences, Interface. It's the
Oh,
fourth one down, and then Navigation, and it is Enable Right Click Pop Up. Go ahead and turn it off. There you go. Okay. Now, um, we're gonna go back to we're gonna stay in the preferences a little bit. Okay. Um, we're going to enable customize. I'm going to turn that on,
mm-hmm.
and
Gotcha.
and now my UI has changed a little bit. When I turn it
Yeah.
off, these trays go away and things like that. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why is ZBrush is opening up spaces that are available to us.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's making it more obvious where you can drag something, like
Right.
a
Now,
button or something like that.
your tools, you got them on top. Have you tried them on the bottom at all, or you just learned it with it on top? I just don't know which. Up top is, yeah, I mean, everything's there, so it probably make more sense to have it up top.
For me, it makes sense. This is where I want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like anything on the bottom.
Okay. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it too.
I don't like anything down here.
Well, and everything's you're already used to going up top to the menu, so you
Mm-hmm.
might as well keep it on top because then you're gonna have to reverse and it'll slow it down until you get cognitive thinking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're going to see people set their stuff up every which way. I mean,
Yeah.
but that is the beauty of ZBrush. It has uh, great UI customization capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all we want is enable customize,
Mm-hmm.
and then I want interface, or wait a minute, custom UI. But I don't want to. I don't want to keep coming back here over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to do is I want to take this little power icon
Mm-hmm.
and I want to drag that over to this tray and drop it
Okay.
in this tray. And so now I have that window or that palette. These are called palettes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my preferences palette and this is
Mm-hmm.
my tool palette.
Okay.
And then each of these are called sub palettes.
Okay.
Okay? Now,
Uh-huh.
what I want to do is I want to create a new menu, brand new menu.
Okay.
And we can name this whatever we want. So I'm going to name it whatever, and I'm going to hit enter. Now
Now I can go.
I have whatever at the top.
Okay.
And when I click on it, there's nothing in it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's there. It exists.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be able to customize. I want to be able to add stuff to my whatever menu.
Okay.
All right. So in order to do that with ease, I'm going to go ahead and open up this left-hand tray.
Okay.
And I can do that by double-clicking on this divider.
Yeah, it's not working for me for some reason.
You have to make sure that the mouse is... Oh, it might be because you're in windowed mode. I'm not sure.
Oh, you mean because I don't have nothing in there? I'm not on edit. Do I need to be on edit?
No. No. It
Oh,
will work whether you're in edit or not.
okay. I don't know. It worked fine yesterday. See, that's not working either. Is it because I'm in custom enable or
Oh,
whatever?
it's because you have a... See on the right-hand side of your
Oh,
screen?
yeah, 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 yeah,
You
yeah.
have to type something in there and then hit enter.
Well, I can change it later, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
Red's menu.
Yeah.
Now on the left, open that tray up. Or that, yeah. That tray.
Yep.
Yep.
There it is.
Okay. By default, you have your brush palette in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can take our brand new menu. I'm going to minimize the brush and collapse that. And I can take this, whatever, and I want to left click on the entry and get this
Mm-hmm.
power icon
Gotcha, gotcha.
and then drag that.
Let's see, it's in alphabetical order. There it is.
And then open it up. Now it's actually expanded right now.
Oh, why? Because it says user?
No, it's because it says user because you created it.
Oh, okay. But
So
it comes when you move it, it comes open. Okay.
here's how you tell that it's open.
Mm-hmm.
The icon for it is
Uh-huh.
on the left hand side right now because I have my brush palette open. If I collapse that,
Oh,
the
okay.
icon shifts just slightly over to the right.
Slightly over to the right.
Yeah, watch the icon right here.
Okay. Oh,
So it shifts over to the left when it's open.
to the left. Yeah. Okay.
It shifts over to the right when it's collapsed.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So now I can
Yep, I've seen it.
so I can open that up. It shifts over to the left. So
Oh,
now it's open. We can't tell because there's nothing in there.
right, right.
This icon right here is the only thing that's telling us that this palette, or this palette is open up. So I want to be able to start adding things to this.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I can go to anything I want, anything at all, and I can say that I want this button right here.
Mm-hmm.
I can hold Control and Alt at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can drag and drop. Now notice how this palette has a white outline,
Mm-hmm.
and I can drop it right on that. So now it's in that palette.
Okay. Now, are you you're just making any menu? You're not making. You're just showing me how to make a menu,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you're actually making the one you got?
I can make the one I have if you want, but
Well, actually, let me play with it, and then I can come back and get yours if I.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
what I can do is I can actually send you the configuration file that creates my menu.
Oh. Oh.
It creates my entire UI, how I have
That's,
my UI set up.
wow.
If you want, and I'm going to show you how to do that yourself, because you might end up having multiple UIs
Mm-hmm.
that you like to use during different situations, and they all
Yes.
go to a config file. When you save them
Okay.
manually, when you're done, um, then you can save it manually, and you can have a list 10 miles long of different configurations for different scenarios if that's what you want.
I got you.
So the other thing, this was really the only first thing, and basically what this is a button that just sits directly in the palette. The other thing is a custom sub palette. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to take Control and Alt,
Mm-hmm.
left click, and drag, and I want to drop when the outline, the white outline, is available.
Okay.
And I'm just going to drop it right there.
Okay.
Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. As long as I don't have anything in here,
Mm-hmm.
then when I Control and Alt, I can drag this within my whatever menu, and I can
Sweet.
drop it.
Yeah, you're a mind reader.
The moment that I put something in here, I can no longer do that.
Oh. Okay.
Okay? So you need to position it in your menu where you want it first.
Okay.
And once you have that, then you can start adding stuff to it. Okay? So
Uh-huh.
then, so I'm going to Control and Alt and click on that. Nothing happens.
Uh-huh.
All I did was click. But if I click and drag, then I can drag this around.
Okay.
And I can reorder this like I just did.
Mm-hmm.
So let me grab something else. I'm just going to grab a random button and I'm going to drop
Oh.
it. I'm going to drop it in this menu. Now this is where it gets a little funny too. I want to drop it right here and it will go inside.
Okay.
Okay, so now
Mm-hmm.
I have this as a sub palette that can be collapsed and expanded. And this
Okay.
sub palette can get as long and complicated as I want it to be, and it doesn't matter. I can collapse that whenever I'm not using it, and it goes away.
Okay. What does that say? I can't read it on your.
What?
Yeah, they're right there. What does that say?
Just says untitled
Oh, okay.
because I haven't named it, and
Gotcha.
you cannot name it until there's something in there.
Okay.
So now Control Alt and click, which did nothing just a second ago. Now
Mm-hmm.
that there is something in this palette, now it allows me to rename it.
Oh, okay.
And I can name it, something,
Right.
and hit enter. Now I have my whatever palette.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like when it's collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
Expanded. Now I
Mm-hmm.
have a button and a sub palette.
Okay.
And when I click on something, I get this button here.
Okay. Cool.
And so you can have as complicated as you can just go throughout ZBrush and grab all your stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and you can have them all in one palette.
Mm.
Okay, now say that I've gone through and I've done that, right? And I've got it all how I want it. It's all
Mm-hmm.
named how I want. All of the order of stuff is how I want. The buttons that I want are there. Um, and I'm done. I'm done now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But what are we doing? We're customizing a UI.
Mm-hmm.
So if I save it right now, then this is the way my UI is going to be every time I load ZBrush. And I don't want that at all.
Okay.
So what I want to do is I want to remove everything that I've done. I've customized the whatever menu, so I don't need it over here anymore because I'm done working on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I want to take this and drop it anywhere inside my canvas,
Right.
and now it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I want to expand this, and the reason why is because, yes, by default, I want the brush palette expanded and in this tray
Okay.
by default. Whenever I open
Okay.
ZBrush, that's how I want this set up. You can have
Okay.
yours set up any way you want to. In fact, you can open up a palette, a sub palette.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the brush palette right now. Okay, I can
Mm-hmm.
expand this, and if I want to, I can open up a sub palette, and it will stay that way.
Okay.
And it will set it as your default startup. Whenever you start ZBrush, this will be open by default if that's how you set it that way.
Okay.
And this includes your settings. So if I turn my elasticity strength up to 90,
Mm-hmm.
say 100, and I save my configuration file that way, that is how it will be by default.
Okay.
And that's across all of ZBrush. No matter what
Okay.
you do, doesn't matter. Once you save that configuration file, that's your startup.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to bring that back down to a 0. I'm going to close that. I'm going to double click on this divider and close that so it will just stay that way.
Okay.
Right? It'll stay open. The brush palette is present, it's expanded,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to close the divider,
Okay.
and that's my default.
Gotcha.
I'm going to close this mem. I'm going to remove the preferences.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just going to click on that power button, and it actually goes away. I don't have to drag this into the
Right. Canvas. Yeah.
canvas. Okay. Now I want my tool palette expanded, and I want that to be my default. I do want my subtool sub palette expanded by default, and that's the only one that I want. That's exactly how I want my tool palette to be, and I want it to be scrolled all the way to the top, just like that.
Oh, so even the scroll matters.
The
Okay.
scroll and everything about your UI, how you have it set up, or your current status
Mm-hmm.
of the UI will
Mm-hmm.
always be saved in your configuration file.
So in other words, if I see that I've got everything the way I want it, but I say, oh, I forgot to click the floor button, Then I go back in there and save that UI, and then the floor button's going to be on at all times.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So, once you're done,
Mm-hmm.
then the last thing that we need to do is come back to preferences.
Mm-hmm.
We need to come up to config, and we need to turn off enable customize.
Mm-hmm.
Because once again, that will be enabled if I don't turn this off.
Right.
Once I first start ZBrush, that will be there. So I'm going to turn that
Okay.
off. And then this is the button. This is the magic button that does that. I'm not going to click this,
Yeah.
but this is basically the same as save default in Blender.
Right. It's
You
it's
know exactly what I'm
self-explanatory.
talking about.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that's my default. It's store
Okay.
config, and then it's done.
Okay.
But a secondary thing is I can save my UI manually, and now it will become a file that I can move around. I can back this up. This is it right here. This is my custom user interface 2025 minimal with brushes, and that's
Okay.
what this is. And I just named it that way so I would know what it is.
Yeah, I see your the name of your folder too. Yep.
Yeah, and that's in my startup folder.
Okay.
So this particular file does not need to be in my Z startup folder at all, because
Mm.
I've already stored my configuration. That is a different file altogether.
Mm.
Okay, that's in config files, I believe. I think,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember correctly. ZBrush Windows startup is group status. I think it's one of these. I don't even know, and it
Okay.
doesn't matter because I don't need to know that. This is only for manual setup and backing
Okay.
it up.
Gotcha.
So that's the only reason why I'm doing this right here, so that I can back this up to a file, and I can throw this on my external drive, so that if I reinstall Windows, and then I would have to reinstall ZBrush, or I'm updating to a new ZBrush version or something
Mm.
like that, then I can go to my external drive where I have this backed up, and I can, load my custom UI how I want it
Mm-hmm.
on a new version.
Right.
And also, like I was saying before, it's useful in scenarios where you want 10 different layouts for 10 different scenarios.
Mm.
Maybe you want a configuration for when you're sculpting something that is just a human, it's just organic, or maybe it's a Venus flytrap that you're going to sculpt, or some other
Mm-hmm.
plant that you're going to sculpt.
Mm-hmm.
And then on another time, you're going to sculpt some sci-fi weapon, like this thing that's on your screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
That leopard is sci-fi, and it's hard surface, as
Okay.
opposed to this right here, Kurt Cobain. These are two different workflows. They're different
Oh.
brushes. They're
Okay.
different brush settings or other settings in ZBrush that you would use to achieve these things.
Gotcha.
So this is why you might do this.
Okay.
Okay,
And then that's where those buttons come up on top, right? What are those buttons there?
that's
You-
for me. This is all my UI.
Oh, okay.
This is all set up the same way that we created the menu.
Mm.
And so, in other words, I removed all of the standard shit. All of the stuff that was in this region, I pulled it
Mm-hmm.
all out and replaced with these brushes right here. The only
Okay.
the only two things from the default setup of ZBrush are these two right here.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Where you at? Okay.
Now, if you don't do anything, if you don't go to preferences and store config, if you do not do that, then everything you've done will
Mm-hmm.
not be saved. It will not, you know, wind up that way.
Yeah, I got to kill another hour to do it.
Well, maybe
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah.
you're gonna get used to this, and you're gonna have this video to come back to anytime you want. You know,
Well, that's cool. Thank you.
you're welcome, man. So the other thing is hotkeys, and this works exactly the same way as far as store and
Hmm.
save. You do
Okay.
not need to save if you don't want a manual file.
Okay.
You just need to store, and that will set your default up.
Okay.
Okay? So for me, these brushes at the top are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0.
Okay.
And these are my go-to brushes.
Right.
I use other brushes, don't get me wrong, but these are the
Hmm.
ones that I use the most.
You're right. Right. Right.
So you can do that with Control and Alt and click. But then you're asking, well, we were just using Control and Alt and click. How does it know that? Because you have to have Enable Customize turned off, because this is not a UI type of thing that we're doing. This is now a functional type of thing that we're doing. So you
Okay.
turn Enable Customize off because we're done setting up the UI. And now, if I use the same shortcut, Control, Alt, left click, you can see that it's saying press any combination to assign custom hotkey, or press escape or mouse button to cancel, or press delete key to remove previous custom assignment. So
Okay.
I can clear the current shortcut if I want by pressing the delete key.
Okay.
I can cancel this operation and say, no, I don't want to set a custom hotkey, and I can just move my mouse away. And notice when I did that, it says operation canceled.
Hmm. Okay.
All I had to do was move my mouse away, and it said,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it stopped that operation.
Okay.
So you can set any custom hotkey you want. In other words, I have bound this quick menu to my caps lock. So I can call this quick menu anytime I want. And here is all of everything that you by default you see up here at the top. I put it in this quick menu.
Okay.
And these sub palettes will remain where they are. So if I open ZRemesher up,
Mm-hmm.
when I use it later, it's still open.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, so I think that about covers everything. That's kind of like the basics of custom UIs and shortcuts and all of that.
But Control Alt click, you can bring your brushes up and just set them in that white box.
White box.
Yeah, when you move them. Well, see, that's the video I showed. You
Oh,
hit
the white outline.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You would have to have preferences,
Uh-huh.
custom UI, or sorry,
Uh-huh.
config, config,
Uh-huh.
preferences config, and then enable customize. And
Right.
then in order to do brushes, okay, it's
Uh-huh.
a little different. You can't just drag this icon.
Yeah, I spent 30 minutes trying. I know.
You cannot. You cannot do that. What you
Mhm.
have to do is you have to select a brush. So I'm going to select this one right here. It's now enabled.
Okay.
Okay?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Then I need to go to my brush palette. And here in this
Oh,
region, this is where all the brushes that I have been using, they wind up. They wind up
okay.
over here.
Hmm.
This is what you have to drag.
Okay.
So since I enabled this brush, it's now
Hmm.
over here. It was not over here just a second ago.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
now that I have enable customize is turned on, so now I can take Control, Alt, I can drag, and I can drop.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And then this is a little finicky.
Gotcha.
I can drag this to the top of this portion, or I can
Hmm.
drag it to the bottom. It's a little weird because the the region that it's in
Uh-huh.
is actually a little taller. So you can have,
Okay.
I don't know why they do it like that, but anyway, I can drag it over here and drop it or whatever I want.
And then that list of brushes on the left, that's gonna since you added that one, that's gonna disappear when you restart it
Yep.
because you did not save the UI.
Well,
Or
this is only part of your project.
okay, gotcha,
This is
gotcha.
only part of your project right here.
Okay, cool. So that way now I know how to get back to the brushes on the same project instead of clicking another one, because then you're gonna fill up that. Well, I don't know if it'll reprint it and have two of them in there, but yeah, okay, I got you.
So this is whatever you've been using.
Okay,
And so this is not considered a UI thing.
okay,
And it's the same thing with your tools.
right, right.
You have your default tools that, they're in ZBrush every single time.
Mm-hmm.
But up here, this is what I've been using. So earlier I used the cylinder, the sphere
Mm-hmm.
3D, and the polymesh 3D, and the PM
Well,
3D sphere.
oh, whoa, 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 wait a
So
minute. Polymesh 3. Oh, that's why the star's in there. I thought it was a star because you can't delete that. I've done tried.
nope, it's a see, it's a default tool.
Oh,
These are default.
yeah, but you can't. Oh,
It,
I got. Well, you can't even delete it off of your right hand side.
no, no,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
built. It's built into ZBrush.
Gotcha.
In fact, it's the only tool that is a polymesh 3D by default.
Oh,
The rest of these are primitives, and they are not polymesh 3Ds. Not until you
gotcha.
turn
That's
them into polymesh 3Ds.
exactly. Okay. Gotcha.
So, in other words, this Gear 3D
Mm-hmm.
is intended for the initialize, and then in this initialize palette, I can configure all sorts of things about it. So there's the coverage, there's width,
Mm-hmm.
radius.
And that's before you make it a poly 3D.
Yep.
Okay.
And once you're done,
Well, what you're doing is you're modifying your base, and then you're going to hit the create poly, and then
and then
do your
go from
stuff
there,
with it.
and then go from there.
Um,
Yeah,
okay.
precisely. That's what a primitive is. It's the same thing in Blender.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
And then I can select this outer profile.
Oh, wow. That's sweet. I haven't got that far in Blender yet.
Well, Blender doesn't have anything this complicated.
Mm.
It only has
The cylinders
cube,
and yeah.
cylinder, cone. It's got a torus.
Right.
So ZBrush calls it a ring, but
Yeah.
Blender calls it a torus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's about what Blender has: sphere, cube, cylinder, and so on and so forth. Just your
Right.
basic shit.
Cool. And that is initialized.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the initialized palette will change once you have a Polymesh 3D.
Well, then that's going to be one I want in my menu. Absolutely.
Once I have a Polymesh
Well,
3D, initialize
mhm.
becomes uh, this is for something. We're gonna leave it alone. We're
Okay.
just gonna
Yeah.
leave it alone for right now. We'll
That's
go
fine.
into it at a later date, but
Hmm.
basically ZBrush has traditional style modeling built into it, like Blender, and it's called Z Modeler. But we're gonna leave
Yeah.
that alone right now.
Okay.
So I think we're ready to go
Okay.
ahead and start with our helmet. I'm going to go preferences and init ZBrush.
Yes.
I'm going to init ZBrush, and yes,
I know I did that because they said it clears everything, puts it back.
puts it
And
back.
they said,
Yep.
yeah. And they said, if you don't save anything, you gotta be cautious. Like, oh shit, should I push the button? But I did, and everything went back. So yeah.
Okay, so now we're at default.
Hmm.
Um, Goodness. Okay. Okay. Now, first things first. I'm going to pull out a Sphere 3D.
Hmm.
I'm going to left click and drag. I'm going to hold the shift button and release on my mouse. I'm going to hit the T key to go into edit. T is in Tom.
Uh-huh. What's a shift key for? I never used that for that.
So shift locks into a position.
Okay.
So since it's just I'll just do this. Make a poly mesh.
Hmm.
Um, I was screwing around with curves, stroke, curve mode.
Hmm.
Okay, so I've made a mark.
Hmm.
So now you can see it when I rotate.
Hmm.
When I rotate, I'm in the middle of rotating.
Hmm.
Now I'm going to hold shift, and that snaps to whatever the closest axis at the time.
Okay. Okay.
So now I'm going to rotate and hit shift, and I'm snapping to the right. Or, well, I guess this would be the left side. If
Right.
this is the left side of his head right here.
Hmm.
So that's the left,
When,
and that's the right.
now, when you turn that, I found out when you turn that and you get your head straight, your head in the right hand corner facing you, that still doesn't mean it's locked because I didn't know about shift button. So I actually went up there and clicked the head and it locked it on that axis.
Mm,
Did you know that? There you go. Now turn the head just a little bit. No, there you go.
I'm clicking and dragging.
Now click on it.
Well,
There you go.
that's what it is.
Oh, are you hitting shift?
No, I'm just clicking and dragging.
Oh, okay. But if you don't get all the way forward and you think you are, you can click on it and it automatically goes there.
Yep.
But I didn't know about shift, so I'll do that now.
Okay. All right. So um, I'm going to. It's a Polymesh 3D. It doesn't matter what the resolution is because we're going to use Dynamesh.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to turn my see-through on,
Mm-hmm.
and I want a pretty large sphere to cover that. Okay, and I'm going to use my move topological. I'm going to increase my brush size, and I'm going to hit X one time. So I'm using symmetry.
Right. I'm going to put you over here so I can see you bigger. There we go.
And I'm just going to start pulling in the sides. And just to begin the process of like shaping this.
Right. Now, did you go back to your pen?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
using my pen.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I've done a little bit on the front, and now I want to start shaping the right hand side. So
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to my guy right here. My guy is
Mm-hmm.
pointing to the right, so
Mm-hmm.
that's the direction that I want my helmet to face now. So I'm going to go back to pure ref, and I'm just going to hit the right mouse button,
Mm-hmm.
bring up that right position, and I'm going to hold Alt and off of my model, just clicking and dragging on the canvas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to position the top right along that line right there.
Gotcha.
And then I'm going to start dragging out and shaping up.
Now
And
you're taking the whole thing, so you're looking at the strength and you're putting your two X dots together and pulling from the middle, correct?
right now I'm just dragging from the side. But the fact that I have such a large brush means that I don't have to worry too awful much.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
All I
Mm.
really need to do is make sure that my position is towards the center, and the fact that I'm using a large brush will take care of the fact that it's, you know, it'll
Right.
take care of everything.
Yeah.
In other words, I can drag from
Because
here
yeah.
or the center. It doesn't really matter whether I'm not 100% on the center or not, because my brush
Mhm.
size is so huge.
Yeah, I just caught the actual yeah, I caught that with the brush now. I got more meaning of the brush size now. I've been learning a little bit because that brush is really weird, man. Because even when I smooth, I actually notice when I hit shift, I change all that and it'll stay there for the next time I hit shift.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because the brush is like whatever your draw brush is set to,
Mhm.
whatever your shift brush is set to, and whatever your mask or control brush is set to, those are
Hmm.
three independent things.
Okay, you said what now? You said smooth,
Okay,
mask, and what?
so we've got this is my current draw brush.
Okay, your current draw brush.
Okay, if
Uh-huh.
I hold shift, that goes to
Goes,
smooth,
yes. And you can change it and it'll stay.
right? But also, I can change my smooth brush if I want to.
Mm.
There are other brushes that constitute as smooth brushes.
Right, right, right.
And then
Okay.
control is my mask brush.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I can change
And then
these are all mask brushes.
right.
And then if I hit control and shift, these are my select brush. This is my select brush.
Oh, okay.
And when I click the brush icon, I get this.
Mhm.
These are all select brushes.
Oh, okay. Huh.
And we're gonna go through this a little bit here and there. I don't want to like go too far into one thing and then that's all we're focused on, and you don't really
Yes.
you get lost in that one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to teach with practical explanations so that you can see what we're doing and why we're doing it at the same time.
Right. Right. Well, that's one thing I don't like about watching other videos. It all depends on how they teach, and they don't.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I mean, sometimes that works for people. There are some
mhm.
individuals that they want to see you deep dive into one tool and explain the whole fucking tool and all the different options.
Mhm.
And then there are other individuals that, they just want to take it little bite-sized pieces of a particular thing and then move on.
Mhm. Mhm.
Smoke a little bit.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, I'll be right back. I'm gonna bring my pack with me.
All right.
Oh, you fucking liar. Yeah, hell, I didn't even get to sleep for till like 2 o'clock because I was sitting here. I hooked this up, sitting here playing. God, I gotta go to bed. I gotta get up 5, go to work.
ZBrush is basically an endless playground. Um, there's there's almost nothing you can't do.
Yeah, there's a whole lot. Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that it handles so much geometry, dude. I mean, the amount of geometry
Uh-huh.
that ZBrush finds easy to handle
Hmm.
would make Blender cuss you, cuss your mother, cuss your whole
Hmm.
goddamn lineage, and
Yeah,
then the program will shut down.
yeah, that's it. Exactly. Yeah, because see, with me learning, I do a lot of stuff and then it shuts down, so I got to restart it. So, and I thought it was a program, but now you just explained it's just too much at once. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's more or less it depends on your system hardware, like how much RAM you have, but more importantly, what is your video card?
Right.
Your
Right.
video card and the amount of memory that your video card has, um, that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. Well, this laptop I got, it's probably 10 years old, so I've got to get another one, but my computer guy's gone. And he would have stripped everything out of there and just made it for me to draw. And but I don't know. Hospitals killed me.
Hmm.
I took him to every hospital around here because he's blind, so he couldn't drive. So I took him to Little Rock and everything. And he knew he was sick. He's a flipping genius, and he knew he was sick. And every hospital except for Little Rock kicked him on the curb because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. So they basically kicked him on the curb to die. And then Little Rock, apparently they didn't find it either because he went to sleep in his chair and never woke up.
That's a sad thing, man.
Yeah, that's what that pisses me off with disability too because he's been blind from birth, so he can only have a limited amount because he could never work through his life to pay taxes in. So they are in a lower bracket. They only get eight, almost maybe 900 a month, when, I'm getting double that because I'm disabled and I work my life. I just, I don't think it's backwards. I think they should have more respect for disabled when they were born myself.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
'cause you can't live on.
especially a disabling condition like that, because there are other levels of disabled that where a person can still earn a living. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I'll go ahead and continue now that I've smoked a little bit.
Smoke a little smoke, drink a little drink.
So I'm going to turn see-through back on. I like it at about 20 usually is where I sit. Um, I go back and forth though. And
Oh,
sometimes
now, are you turning that back on because you turned it off, or it turns off automatically
I
when you
turn I
switch?
turned it off.
Okay,
It'll stay on
gotcha.
until you turn it off.
Okay.
There are times when I want to go and crank it up and just take a look and then turn it
And
back down.
okay, I wasn't seeing the ball. I was seeing where you're putting the spirit. Okay.
Okay, so just going to continue with this. And at some point, my brush size will be a little too big because I've gotten a whole lot closer than I was. And then I want to reduce my brush size so that I can further refine without affecting the areas
Right.
that I have correct.
Now, what's the difference between that mesh move and the regular move?
Um, this, where is it? This one right
Is it
here?
done? No, the one you're using. You got the mesh topology, and then you got the regular move brush. I mean, what's
Uh,
the difference?
Move topological.
Yeah, and then you got regular move.
Right. You're talking about that right there? That's
No,
your move action.
no,
You're talking
no.
about both brushes.
I'm just wondering what the difference is between the brushes.
So you're talking about
The one on the bottom, third one over. There you go. See, that's move, and then you got topography move. What's the difference? Is what I'm
topological.
asking.
So you've got
Yeah.
move and move topological. Um,
See,
I
that to me that did the same thing. And right now you got it on regular move.
right.
Oh, I got
Do you
you.
see the
I see it
difference?
now. Yep, sure do. I see it now.
It's very, very difficult to explain it.
Yeah,
So that's why I'm just showing you.
yeah, yeah.
So I prefer my default, my personal
Hmm.
preference of default is to use the move topological brush.
Okay, okay.
And there are actually other move brushes that I use.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to reduce my brush size down to right about there. And
Hmm. That's what I was doing with the pen last night. It was so awesome because I couldn't do it like that with the mouse.
okay, so I'm going to go back to the front now.
Hmm.
I'm going to Alt Tab and bring up Pure Ref. And now I want to hit the left arrow one time, Alt Tab, go back to ZBrush, and continue
Gotcha. I see
refining
it.
this. And so um, I'm holding control, and then I'm right clicking
Hmm.
and dragging this to reduce the size, and then Alt and left click off of the model So that's the two methods that I'm using right here to get
Okay.
this kind of scaled and positioned where I want.
And what was the scale again?
Control and right click and drag.
Okay. Okay. Now, when I watch a video again, I'll write them shortcuts down because I got my own little list started.
And so here's a scenario where I want to crank this up so that I can take a look, and then I can see that this slopes down, and this height increase stops right about
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
I'm going to turn see-through off for right about now. And so I want to steady, you know, progression back
Hmm.
so that it's kind of rounded.
Hmm.
And I'm going to smooth that out. Okay, and the same thing in the back. And I'm just going to check that shot right there.
Hmm.
And it shows me that this is a pretty wide in the back.
Hmm.
Okay, so here's a shortcut for you. Shift F. And
What'd you
that
say? Shift S?
F is in Frank.
Oh, okay.
And Shift F will show you, it's this button right here, draw
Oh, okay.
polyframe.
Yep. Yep.
So
Okay.
I can just click this button if I want and toggle back and forth, or I can hit Shift F.
Okay.
And so polyframe will not only show you your topology and your density, because each of these, that's a polygon.
Hmm.
That's a polygon. Each of those is a vertex.
Hmm.
So, but it'll also show you your poly groups.
Right.
And I don't know if you've explored polygroups yet, but we'll explore that in just a little while.
I just watched the video to know about it, and then I walked away because I got more important stuff to learn right now.
Yeah, that's why I chose this, because it's going to be a nice mixture where we're not too awful complicated or focused on any one thing. We're not deep diving into any one thing, but
Mm-hmm.
we're going to just kind of glaze over a little bit here and there
Mm-hmm.
on a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So this is looking all right. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is go to my geometry
Mm-hmm.
um, in my tool palette,
Mm-hmm.
geometry sub palette, and I'm going to go to Dynamesh.
Okay.
And I'm going to reduce my resolution because I'm not ready for anything, detailed yet. And
Okay.
even 128 resolution with this particular model is still pretty low poly, but I'm going to go
Mm-hmm.
even lower than that. I'm going to go
Okay.
to something like 30 and Dynamesh. And see, my density is still relatively the same,
Mm-hmm.
but it went in and recalculated my surface.
Mm-hmm.
It basically rebuilt my surface. So that word is going to come into play quite a bit in this. So anytime I
Okay.
say rebuild, that means that Dynamesh has taken a look at my current shape and it has rebuilt it. So what this means is if I were to take this and stretch this out, and then I shift F and go to polyframe, you can see how my polygons are stretched.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I rebuild, that's what happens.
Okay, so that's what they were talking about. I wondered, they said when you're on Dynamesh, they said to click and drag in a canvas. So that's what it
It's
does.
it's clear your mask.
Okay.
This is why I'm setting a difference between clearing your mask like normal
Mm-hmm.
and rebuild. And
Okay.
here's why. If I have a mask, then I control, click,
Right.
and drag
Mm-hmm.
anywhere on the canvas, then that clears my mask.
Okay.
You do it one more time with no mask current on your
Mm-hmm.
model, and instead, Dynamesh will rebuild.
Oh, okay.
So that's why. So say that I make some modification, but I have a
Mm-hmm.
mask.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Control, left click, and drag, and that clears my mask. But I still have topology that is stretched.
Okay.
And one more time, we'll fix that.
Gotcha.
So all right, that's pretty good. Now, um, what I want to do is I want this whole portion right here to be a separate model for right now.
Okay.
I might join it back later,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to be easier for me to get crisp edges
Okay.
if these are two separate models.
Gotcha.
So what I'm going to do at this point, this is currently in Dynamesh mode, and I want to maintain that. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a folder and call this original. And my selected model is going to go into that folder. Whatever I have selected at the time, when I create a new folder, it's going to automatically put it in that folder as well.
Okay.
So all right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this model and I'm going to duplicate that model.
Okay.
All right, actually no, hang on, I'm going to do one thing first. I'm going to go see through. I'm going to position this kind of where I want it. We're not worried about perfect right now. And I'm going to switch my mask brush. So right now I have the mask pen. That's, you know, if you click and drag off of your model, first you start with a box. And you can drag that box over your model. If you click and drag, control and click and drag on your model, then you're drawing.
Okay.
So I don't want this one right now. I want, with control held down, click on the brush, then I get my mask brushes. And I'm going to left click on mask lasso.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to bring see through back. And I can see my line. I'm going to hold control, click and drag, and I'm dragging out a lasso.
Okay.
And then I want to cover that whole area. And then release. Now I have masked a very specific curvature.
Okay.
And I'm going to duplicate that. So now I have exactly the same thing on two different models.
Gotcha.
Okay? This one here, I'm going to invert the mask. So I'm going to go Control and just left click one time on the canvas.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And that inverts the mask. I'm going to rename this to helmet bottom. I'm going to rename this one to helmet top. Hello, Moto.
Yeah. My email.
Okay, so helmet top. What I want to do is I want to remove everything that is not helmet top. And we can do that by going to geometry, modify topology, and delete hidden. So, or sorry, we need to hide it first. So, this is why I have a custom menu, because I don't want to go look for this stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Visibility.
use your custom menu.
No, because I want you to see where this stuff is located. So I
Okay.
want to go hunt it down so that you can see where it's located. So we want hide PT, and that means hide unmasked.
Okay.
So I have both models turned on, and I'm going to click the eyeball on the helmet bottom. So all I have is this, and
Mm-hmm.
basically we can't see anything in here because we're looking at the backside. When we rotate around, we're looking at the backside.
Okay.
And if that fucks you up, what you can do is you can go to display properties and turn on double.
Okay.
And now when I rotate around, now I can see the backside of these polygons.
Got you.
And now I can go to geometry, modify topology,
Mm-hmm.
and delete hidden. So now everything that I just hid is gone, and I can control and left click and drag on with a mask off of my model,
Mm-hmm.
and what's going on? Dynamesh? Somehow Dynamesh got turned off. Well, anyway, I can turn it back on, and Dynamesh will rebuild the model.
Got you.
Not too concerned about this jagged edge right now.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm watching.
I'm going to fix that in just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to do this top, or this bottom portion, remove the top.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go and do the same process. Visibility, hide PT, geometry, modify topology, delete hidden. Dynamesh is still turned on this model, so I'm just going to clear my mask, and there we go.
Okay.
All right. Now we're going to fix some stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to use the Move to Topological Brush as my draw brush, and I'm going to, well, first before I do anything, let's scale this down and take advantage of the fact that this is a separate model right now. So I have that's my draw, which is Q, the Q key on the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
W is move.
Okay.
And this is not a move brush, this is a move action.
Okay.
Okay? E is scale, R is rotate. But you can, honestly, you can just use move by itself.
Okay.
So there's a few things going on here. Number one, we have a lock icon. And that lock icon means that whatever I do is going to apply to the model.
Mm.
And then I can Control Z to undo that.
Mm.
If I unlock it and do the same thing, now I'm moving this gizmo.
Right.
And the center of this sets a pivot point. It sets a point of transformation.
Okay.
So with it unlocked, I can click this icon right here, which at the bottom of this little gizmo is saying go to unmasked mesh center.
Okay.
When I click that, that's exactly what it does.
Okay.
And I can, but since I have symmetry turned on, it went to
Oh,
the middle of that. So I need to hit X one time to turn off
okay.
symmetry, and then I still have my unlock is enabled, and
Mhm.
I'm going to click that one more time. Now it's at the center of all of my geometry,
Mm,
and
okay.
I'm going to use this little yellow box right in the middle,
Hmm.
and that's going to oh, turn my lock. So now my lock is enabled, and then I'm going to use my this little box, and that's going to scale proportionately on all axes at the same time.
Okay.
And just bring that in just a little bit. And so now I'll have a separation and size just like my model is right here.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so now I want to take this edge and move this down. I want to make sure symmetry is turned back on. So X for symmetry, turn
Hmm.
that back on, and now I can just go around and drag downwards. And I want to drag past the edge
Okay.
and drag this downwards.
Inside of it.
Yeah, inside. I don't care about the center on the inside.
Hmm.
I don't care about that at all.
Okay.
And now we've got a nice separation between the two.
Mm. I see that. Yeah. But there's still two pieces.
There's still two pieces. Okay, now this one, we've got this nice triangular shape that comes
Hmm.
up. And so I want to try to grab this from the center. So I'm going to rotate my model so that I'm looking up and kind of from the side.
Hmm.
And I'm just going to drag that straight up. And because I have symmetry turned on, I don't have to worry about that going to the left or the right.
Right. Right.
Okay, so now that that is up a little bit, I want to see what it looks like. And so it looks like the top portion is right at the crest. And that's basically what we have here.
Yep.
Now this side doesn't come back that far. So I want to take the and rotate my model once again, and from the back I want to drag this forward a little bit.
I was gonna say you're pretty much you could make that even look better than the original, really. Yeah, I mean, your
Oh yeah,
own creation.
yeah, yeah, and that's usually what reference images are, is just a visual guide to get you to a certain point, and
Hmm.
you can either recreate what you see as far as your visual guide, or
Hmm.
you can start to deviate from that,
Yes,
if you want.
and I would. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just me.
absolutely. Yeah. Typically that's what I do, but it's good to psychologically know how to recreate what you see, because
Hmm.
that is way more difficult than
Yeah.
going in your own direction.
Hmm.
And for
Hmm.
me, there's many times where I'm required to accept a drawing of some kind or a photograph from an individual, and I'm expected to be able to recreate whatever they hand me, no matter what it
Hmm.
is, no matter how complicated or detailed it is. I'm expected to be able to reproduce that to the finest detail.
Right. Right.
So it's different. let me tell you, it's
Yeah.
not the same at all. And
Get,
it's methods like this that I'm showing you right now with see-through
uh-huh.
that helps you achieve that.
Okay.
And so,
You get it right the first time so it don't come back and you have to fix it.
mm-hmm. So once again, I'm scaling and positioning this so that it kind of more or less lines up uh, um, with it in different areas.
Key points, yeah.
Key points, points that
Yeah.
I've already positioned and sized this. So I'm going
Mhm.
off of these locations, and then I'm asking myself, does this wind up where I want it to be? And does this wind up where I want it to be? And the answer is no. So I want to hold Alt and left click on my helmet top, and that will select that. And
Okay, thank you.
I can.
Because I seen you do it earlier and I didn't catch what you did. And wow, I wonder, do they have oh, what was it? The visual key press on ZBrush like they do Blender?
I've never seen that before, but there are programs, there are
Yeah.
third-party programs that will
Hmm.
do that. I've
Okay.
just never used them before.
Right.
So that now matches up the way that I want.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see it.
And so I'm going to hold Alt and left click on my helmet bottom to switch back to that
Okay.
and go back to this.
Yes, because now you're evening up the top or the bottom from the top because you're lined up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know damn well it ain't that simple, not the way you make it look, but I know I'll get it too.
It'll become that simple. It'll.
Oh, that's what I was saying the other day, man. I don't know if I like this pad because I might get addicted to it because it was so fun last night. Like I said, I didn't get to bed till 2, and I knew I had to work.
It is.
I just haven't.
It's going to become an addiction.
Yeah.
It's going to be. Yeah. If you're any kind of artist like I am, yeah,
Hmm.
you're going to get addicted real quick.
I'm already thinking about getting a smaller pad just to take it if I go somewhere.
That's exactly what I did, man. I like my 15-inch for the house because
Hmm.
I have all my space that I have a desk that's big enough to accommodate
Yeah.
the 15-inch, and
Uh,
that's okay for
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But that 11-inch is my on-the-go moneymaker, man. That thing has literally made me tens of thousands of dollars.
Cool.
Not even playing around.
Right. Right. Yeah, because I don't. If I go to Peru and Philippines, I don't want to be taking this big time.
You often travel there?
No, I got a call last night, man. I started my second year of it's the same school, but it's a different subject. And I actually got a call last night from my pastor asking me if I would like to go to Peru and Philippines to do some ministry work.
Wow,
And, yeah, they're supposed to pay for the whole thing.
wow, that's pretty
I
cool.
don't know. Yeah, it is. It is. And I just started school last year. And but last year I got my bachelor's divine doctrine, and I just started this Sunday. I got to go till November. I'm going to get my bachelor's ministry doctrine, and I don't have any plans on going out and being a big reverend or anything. I basically did it to get me out of my grieving,
Yeah, yeah.
and with that aspect, my knowledge, even if I just talk to you about something, well, that's considered ministering, and you don't need a license for it.
Right.
I don't want to get in the pulpit. I'll pray for somebody and cast out demons, but I'm not going to get in the pulpit. No, not my thing.
I hear you. Okay, so we're looking pretty good at this point. We've got a nice baseline set up.
Hmm. Hmm. So that baseline, your finished work is the beveled edges and all that too. So your baseline is just a basic shape.
Yeah, the most basic version of the shape that I was trying to achieve, and
Okay.
I'm there now,
Right, right.
and that's why what I want to do. That's why I named this folder original,
Hmm.
because I'm going to consider this a backup.
Okay.
I'm going to consider this my base, and I'm going to lock this away. So
Okay.
I'm going to take this folder, come up to the gear icon,
Mm.
and I'm going to duplicate the folder.
Oh, wow.
And it tells you the selected folder and all subtools within the folder will be duplicated. Press OK.
Okay.
So
All
now
right.
I have two folders, and I'm going to rename this one to Sculpting, if I can spell it right. Okay, Sculpting. I'm going to use these tabs up at the top, and these are visual limiters. They're called visibility set.
Hmm.
So when I hover over that, right here, it's telling you visibility set 1,
Oh, okay.
visibility set 2, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So however you set these up is how all of this will remain. These are very
Okay.
nice and convenient when you have a full dragon with armor and horns, and the horns are separate from the dragon, and so on and so forth. And you've got like folders all over the place, and you've got subtools all over the place, and some of these are backup. But like I'm about to use this as a backup, I'm not going to use the backup at all until unless I need to use the backup. If I need to go back and recover something from a previous portion, that's what my
Hmm.
backups are for.
Okay.
If I don't need to do that, then I'll never use them. So, but this is
Unless you want to use them at a later date because they're always in your file.
maybe in another project or something like that,
Yeah.
or maybe in
Yeah.
the same project. Who knows?
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's what these visibility sets are for. They're very, very nice and convenient for that.
Okay.
So what I typically do is I leave my V1 as my working, whatever I'm using to progress into the project even further. That will be my first one, V1, and
Okay.
then I'll take my backups and make that either V2, V3, V4, V5, V6, V7, or V8.
Okay.
I can make it V8 because it's something I want to shove to, on a shelf, and kind of forget about it until I need it.
Now, how do you put it in V8? Or are you in V8 right now?
I have V8 enabled,
Uh-huh.
and whatever you do will remain that way. And so there's
Oh,
no special
I
thing
got you.
that you have to do. Um, so
So that particular set is still in V1, and then when you switch to V8 and you make any additional edits, that's going to be in V8.
it's it's
Yeah.
visibility. So
Oh,
if
okay.
I'm on V8 right now, and
Uh-huh.
so I enabled the folder that original is in, and I
Mhm.
enabled helmet top and helmet bottom. I'm leaving sculpting turned off.
Okay.
When I go back, I'm going to do the
It's on.
opposite.
Okay. I got you.
So they're all present in every visibility set tab. They're always
Okay.
present. I'm not limiting whether an object is going to show up or not, but I am limiting whether it's visible or not.
Okay. Okay.
So, and that's what these eyeballs do. So
Got you.
since I have this enabled here, this is my sculpting
Mm-hmm.
visibility
Mm-hmm.
tab. And when I go back to V8, you can see that it's set up in the opposite
Okay.
way. So Now I'm going to continue. And we're kind of ready to increase our poly count and start to begin refining this shape that we have, our base shape. So what I'm going to do is go to File, Save As, and I'm going to go to Projects, Red Dog, Skyrim Helmet, and I'm going to save over the one that I had, so it'll just be ZBrush Project. Yes, I want to replace it. Okay. I want to show you one other thing before we go into this a little further. Right now, you have the button for and I don't think I even have it in here. It's the light box. So.
Oh yeah, I do.
For me, I just use the comma. The comma key toggles it open and closes it. If I go over here to Quick Save, and I'm going to let this load. And this is where I was practicing. And every so often, ZBrush will quick save. You do not need to have the project saved manually in order for the quick save to work like it does in Blender.
Yeah, well, that quick save's a little fucked up in ZBrush anyway, because I've got it on 20 minutes, and it saves quicker than 20 minutes. Well, I don't know. My time went by last night, so maybe not.
So
I didn't think about that.
When you talked earlier about space on your hard drive, this is something you really have to pay attention to. Because this folder is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay.
And you're going to have a lot more files over here coming up.
Yeah, with me playing, I deleted them, but that was what I was going to ask you. Can you that folder on the left is the actual folder? Can you take that and put it on a hard drive and bring it back?
Yeah.
Okay.
It already is. It already is. So,
external hard drive?
Yeah. Well, it's not on an external, but it is in a folder on your computer.
Okay, so I can move it to an external and still bring it back.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And whatever is in that folder will be in here. And it doesn't even matter if it was made by the quick save or not.
Okay.
It can be one that you saved out manually, and if that's what you want, if you want it to go to this area, then it'll be there, because it's just looking at ZPR, ZBrush project files.
Yes.
That's
and
the only. That's the only difference.
I actually went back and deleted them that way. So I took a screenshot of the pictures to make sure I had the numbers proper, so I didn't delete something I didn't want to delete, and I deleted the numbers. So.
And just for clarification, this is where it's saved. C.
Okay.
Users, public.
Oh, hell, I didn't see that go to folder, and it goes straight to it instead of me trying to find it. Right? The one on the left says go to folder?
That just opens up this folder right here.
Okay, it just refreshes.
So what you can do, though, is you can just take note of this address, and you can use Windows Explorer to go to that folder. And once you're there, you can add it to your what do they call it? The quick launch or quick access.
Okay.
So when I right click on that, that is pinned to always be there, indicated by that little pin mark. So if I go to C, users, public,
Mm-hmm.
Pixel out. Oh no, it's documents and ZBrush data, and then quick save. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's access to the folder. Whatever you want to
Yeah.
delete, you can.
Mm-hmm.
What you'll have to do, since it's not giving you previews in this folder,
Right.
what you'll have to do is keep an eye on whatever the names are,
Yeah.
and then delete what you want and keep what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But I can go up a folder so that I'm looking at this quick save. I can
Uh-huh.
right click on that and pen to quick
Oh,
access. And now
okay.
it will always be right here,
Gotcha.
no matter what.
Okay.
All right. So, what I'm going to do now is I keep wanting to use my quick menu, but I want to show you where this stuff is so that
Mm-hmm.
you know yourself. Geometry,
Mm-hmm.
Dynamesh. Currently we're using a resolution of 32.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and bump that up reasonably. I just want to be, I don't want to go too far too quick, too early,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm going to try and see what I can achieve if I go with a resolution of 100 thereabouts.
Okay.
Usually ZBrush won't accept. See, if I enter 100, it says 104, which is fine. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm going to turn Dynamesh off and turn it back on, and now I can
Oh, okay.
see my density
Okay.
that I'm working with. If you ever do this and nothing happens,
Mm-hmm.
all you have to do is make a little change to the surface of your model, like smooth it or
Mm-hmm.
something, and then
Okay.
try it again, and it will
Mm-hmm.
work.
Okay.
And there we go. We've got both of these are now Dynameshed
Yes, to
at
the
a.
same resolution.
At,
I seen that this morning. I didn't know how he did it because he had it on the bottom, and that confused me. Kind of like a quick menu.
oh,
And I was
okay,
like, hey,
yeah, yeah.
mine's not on the
That's
bottom.
why I don't want to use the quick menu. That's
Yeah.
exactly why.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then I can see an indication up here. So my active polygons is 16K, which is
Mm-hmm.
the top of the helmet. And if I Alt and left click, my active polygons is 31K. And
Okay.
that's pretty good. And I can do a test with that just by pulling out my standard brush or any of these sculpting brushes as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
the move topological brush. I want
Right.
a sculpting brush, and then reduce my brush size so that I get something real small and defined, and then drag across that, and that will work for now,
Yes.
for the next level of what I want to do.
Right. That's what took me so long last night. I was trying to rake brush, and I couldn't get it like the demo that I was watching. And boy, I had to do a bunch of stuff. But what I did is I didn't use the Dynamesh. I just kept hitting divide to get it finer, which is the same thing, right? Just different.
No, not at
Oh,
all.
okay.
Uh,
Okay.
they're similar, but um, Dynamesh is the only one that will rebuild.
Okay.
In
Gotcha.
other words, um,
It'll
so
divide what's not rebuild. It'll divide that, and it still won't be proper.
you'll never be able to rebuild it.
Okay.
So here's the difference between the two kind of it's a guideline for usage.
Mm-hmm.
use Dynamesh until you've reached a shape that, like an overall shape that you want.
Okay.
And then you can continue with that if you want. You can still
Okay.
use Dynamesh, and you can still stay in Dynamesh. You don't have to stop right there and then you know um, start using something that's more limited.
Right. Right.
Where people like to use um, divisions
Mm-hmm.
and stay out of Dynamesh is when they want to take this over to a like Blender or something like that, and they want to work with organized geometry. They're at a point in their model, in their project, that they're ready to do that, and they're ready just to say, okay, all I want is to sculpt little details, and I don't want to make any big changes.
Okay.
So that is what they have decided at that point. Once they stop using Dynamesh and they stick with just using divisions.
Okay. Okay.
And usually ZRemesher is involved in that process to create that organized geometry, because right now we don't have organized geometry.
Okay.
We have, our geometry is all over the place. Our topology is
Mm-hmm.
all over the place. It's
Okay.
not organized at all.
Right.
But that's what Dynamesh is.
Okay.
It completely forgets about being organized, and just goes with whatever your shape is, and how do I get to replicate that shape as quickly as possible and as easily as possible, so that ignores any kind of sensible topology.
Okay.
We're gonna go further into that. I'm just glazing over it right now,
Right. Right.
but we're gonna go further into it as we move forward with this. So right at the moment, all I have is redynameshed. I've increased the polygons, and what I'm left with is I'm still left with a lot of that low poly, jagged um, look to it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I turn on my polyframe, you can see, just for an example, we're just going to look at this portion right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is jagged, but it has the geometry to be a whole lot more smooth than that.
Okay.
And I can go across here and I can smooth, but I can also use my deformation and polish.
Oh.
And if I drag this over to the right a little bit, it polishes
Oh,
the
wow.
entire thing.
Wow. That's sweet.
So I'm going to do the same thing to the top portion of the helmet. I'm going to just polish that, and that will do very nicely for me.
Yeah, that's a hell of a shortcut.
And then this back portion, I'm going to go to move topological. I'm going to increase the brush size, and I'm going to drag this down. And so now we're still in a phase of refinement. And
Mm-hmm.
this is exactly why I did not go too high of a topology or geometry poly count right now, because
Okay.
I still have these
Yeah.
areas that need some help.
Mm-hmm.
And if I put too much geometry in there, then it will be more difficult, and it will require more time and effort in order to achieve that.
Gotcha.
So I'm just, making little changes here. I want to drag this out so I have a nice lip that goes around, and I want less of a lip over here, so I'm going to drag that in. The angle of your view is always a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hit Control Z a lot, and I noticed that. That's what I'm trying to not master, but get grip of is the angle and what it does.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So these portions right here where I've got some little deviation in the shape, I'm just going to smooth that out and then drag it up. And then I want to turn on my see-through again, run through the gambit one more time,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
okay.
reposition. That's about what I want. And now
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking a look at my shape. Increase see-through just to get a quick look at it, and then reduce it back down so that now I
Okay.
know I can bring this back up. And that's kind of the shape that I'm looking for right there.
Mm-hmm. So,
That's not bad. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think we're ready to start sculpting a little bit. And this is where we were talking about primary shapes,
mm-hmm.
secondary shapes, and tertiary shapes. Uh, so what we just did were the primary shapes.
Right.
And now we're going to start moving into our secondary shapes. Turn see-through back on.
Mm-hmm.
Alt tab over to pure ref, and I want the front view. Okay. Now, where is center? Well, we know on the ZBrush side of things, but what I can do is I can move my mouse around, and I can
Mm-hmm.
move this down to the corners, and I can ask myself, are those reasonable? Does it match up reasonably where I want the eyes? And I believe
Mm-hmm.
that's okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to reduce my brush size, and I'm going to use my mask, but I don't want my lasso. So while I hold control, I'm going to come up here and I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to choose my mask pen.
Okay.
And I'm going to draw in a mask. For the eye.
Okay, that's what I was doing wrong. I was trying to edit it with no mask. And I see why now. Yeah.
If it's a primary or a secondary shape, masking is going to be crucial.
Okay.
For some of your tertiary shapes, your real fine details, a lot of times masking comes into play with that too. But it's going to be more crucial for your primary and secondary shapes.
Okay.
Because they're large and very specific shapes, very specific angles and slopes and uh, the edges of what we're going to affect and what we don't want to affect and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So what I've done here is I've just masked the border. Now I can easily paint this in, but I wanted to show you one thing that's real freaking cool. If I go down to my masking subpalette,
Mm-hmm.
I can click this button that says Auto Region,
Oh,
and it will fill that in.
oh, cool.
So you need a completely closed area.
Okay.
As long as you have that, you can hit Auto Region and it will fill that in.
Okay, cool.
Now I have the shape to the eye that I want, and I'm going to hold Control and left click one time on my canvas,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to use the Move tool to pull this back. And then that's about the depth that I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to hold Control, left click and drag, clear my mask once, and then rebuild by doing that one more time.
Okay. Gotcha. I was trying to use a smooth brush. Yeah, that's a lot easier. More productive.
Yeah, you typically you want to rebuild first and then refine
Okay.
if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, because I kept losing my shape.
And when you're low poly like this,
Mm-hmm.
you're not concerned at all about correct shape. I don't care that this is not exactly correct,
Okay.
because this is probably about as close as I'm going to get. I can try, I can say, increase this, and you've got kind of a point up here where
Mm-hmm.
this is rounded as it is now,
Mm-hmm.
but this comes to a point. So I can try to see if I can accomplish that. And I'm going to need a larger brush size than that.
Okay.
And that will probably do okay. It's not exactly what I wanted though, because this is still pretty low poly, and
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't come exactly to the point that I wanted. So mentally, I'm going to forget about this and the fact that I I basically I just can't achieve that level of detail with the polys that I have right now. So I'm just going to forget about it, and I'm going to come back to it later when I increase my geometry.
Okay.
That is what it's all about.
Yeah, because your polys are too big. You can't fine tune it. Okay.
Right. Okay, so the next portion we're going to do is this mouth. Like this is like a mesh that the person can breathe through.
Right, right.
Okay, so I'm going to use the mask pen, but I'm going to use this drag rectangle functionality. So you, once again, you start that off of the model. Once you have it started, I still have control. I still have mouse. My left mouse button is still held down.
Okay.
I can then hold the space bar. So now I have all three held down,
Okay.
and I can move this.
Huh.
And I'm positioning my left side.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can release on the space bar. And now I can continue
Okay.
changing my size. I'm not worried about the right hand side because I have symmetry turned on.
Oh, okay.
All I need to do is make sure that I go past the middle point.
Okay.
And then I'm going to drag this up to the top. And I want to stop right about there.
Oh, wow.
Um, so I'm actually going to increase the width on that a little bit. One more time. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing. There are certain mask operations that always go right through your model. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mask pen and just drawing on your surface,
Mm-hmm.
that does not. That only
Okay.
goes on the surface. Unless your model is real thin. If it's real thin, then it might mask both sides. But in this case, ours are not.
Uh-huh.
But as far as this operation, so it's the other usage of the masked pen, that does go all the way through the model.
Mm.
Okay?
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
you've got to be aware of that. So what I want to do is I want to unmask everything that, you know, was extra.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So just looking at this from all sides, I can see that what I can do is hold my control. I'm now in my mask operation.
Mm-hmm.
Come back over here to the mask brushes and select my mask lasso. And now I can control, like off of the model,
Mm-hmm.
control, did an autosave, control, and then alt. I'm going to hold both of those down. Now instead of a gray, it's white. And this is
Okay.
unmasking. So I'm going to drag around that area right there. And now
Okay.
I've unmasked all of that, and I have left the area that I want to be masked.
Gotcha.
Now I want to invert that. Use my move and drag this back. Take a look at it from different angles. And I'm going to control, clear my mask one more time to rebuild.
Okay.
This right hand side and the left hand side are not correct. So you don't have to worry about it. You can ignore it and just do everything on the left hand side, and then just use the right hand side for kind of like a visual reference, but for the most part ignore it. You can do
So
that.
can you not use the mirror from left to right to get that right?
Well,
Okay.
I'm using symmetry, and yes, and that's why I said you can ignore it, because you can always mirror later.
Okay.
And I mean, if you want to, and if it helps you visualize, then go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm.
But just be aware that you're going to be doing that over and over and over and over again. So
Okay.
that's why I have it on my quick menu. So there
Okay.
are actually two different ones. The first one is under Geometry, Modify Topology, Mirror, and Weld. And by
Okay.
default, that is set to the X.
Okay.
That will always mirror from left to right.
Okay.
Once again, we're using our guy to verify that we are in fact looking at the front.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I was looking at this direction, it would be right to left.
Okay, I got you. Got you.
The other one is deformation. It's under deformation,
Mm-hmm.
and that's mirror
Okay.
under deformation. So what this does Here, I'll show you. Mirror under deformation will take everything that's on the right hand side and place it. It'll flip your model. So now right becomes left, left becomes right. There are situations where you might want that. Say that this is what I wanted. It isn't.
Right.
It isn't. But if I wanted to accomplish that, this option up here under geometry and under modify topology, this mirror and weld is not going to cut the mustard. If I want to keep this right hand side,
Gotcha.
I would then have to go to deformation. I'd have to mirror. Now everything that was on my right hand side is now on my left hand side.
I got you. Okay.
Then I can come back here, mirror and weld, and now I have both of those.
Oh. All right.
But I don't want that. I'm just going to mirror and weld. But like I said, typically what I do is I ignore that type of thing at this phase of things because it's not really going to help me too awful much. Like visually, it's not going to help me.
Right.
Later on in the model, when I have scratches and scrapes and maybe those are symmetrical and I want to mirror them over. But then I have all of these other structural aspects like this right here. If I do this and the right hand side with, I have symmetry turned on and the right hand side isn't quite the same as the left hand side, and I really want that visually to keep me on the straight and narrow, just so I know I can take a look at this and then I can review with these shots right here just to make sure that I'm going in the right path and getting what I want. Then at that point, yes, go ahead and do it.
Okay.
But at this phase of things, it's not going to help me too awful much.
Right.
All right, so the next is the nose guard. So here's another thing that we can do. We can go ahead and reduce our brush size. And I have mask lasso. I'm going to go back over to the mask pen and I'm going to draw out. Draw this out. And then you see if this was, I'm actually going to keep this, but if it was too much, then that's one thing that you can do. You can always draw your mask out however you want, and then you can come back and use mask lasso and then Control and Alt to kind of refine your shape.
Okay.
So I'm going to invert my mask. I'm going to move outwards. And it's like a steady slope outwards instead of it being so sharp right here at the top. So what I'm going to do is unlock, move this over here, and I'm going to place the center. Let's try the center right here. So center to center, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Turn the lock off. And then rotate.
Oh, sweet.
And then move this back.
Oh.
That's pretty much what I'm looking for. So I'm going to clear my mask and then rebuild. Then I'm going to smooth along this top, but I don't want to mess this edge up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to, in this case, I don't have to worry about masking through the model.
Mm-hmm.
It probably didn't, but I'm not concerned about it whether it does or not, because all I'm doing is working on this portion of the model right here.
Okay.
I'm not moving anything around. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not moving this manually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or anything like that. I'm just going to sculpt in this tiny little area, so I'm not going to worry about that.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to increase my mask just a little bit around that area, and then I'm going to smooth that out. And then I'm going to take this center portion right here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to drag this down. And then I'm going to drag this out. And then smooth that. Clear my mask, and then rebuild. And because this is so far separated,
Mm-hmm.
when I rebuild, the Dynamesh doesn't fuse that together because it's got it's far away.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that we can do to kind of help with this, because this keeps cropping up on us,
Mm-hmm.
is we can turn on transparent,
Mm-hmm.
and then transparent mode has ghost either on or off. Right now it's on. If I turn that off, then that's the other way of using transparency.
Okay.
I would prefer to have ghost on in this particular scenario, and I can look through my helmet bottom and
Mm-hmm.
sculpt my helmet top down past that edge. Okay, so now the next part is this ridge. So we want this area to come straight out. So I'm going to use the mask pen, drag that around it, and I'm actually going to go down pretty far because that goes across the back.
Okay. Oh, I got you.
And then under subtool, with these subtools, what I can do is hold shift and left click on the eyeball of the one that I want to isolate,
Mm-hmm.
and it will turn everything off,
Okay.
except it turned that off too. But since I have this selected, it's still showing up.
Okay.
So I'm just going to deselect or unmask a portion of this where I think that it should be, and switch over.
Oh, I'm seeing it. Yeah.
And I think it's still down a little too far, so I'm going to bring this back up and a little more. That will do. Doesn't need to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want a little bit of see-through, and I'm going to go back to my side view, reposition this, W for move. I have my lock turned off. And then I need to invert my mask. So I only had the portion that I want masked, and I needed to invert. And then I can drag this up and
Oh, okay.
start kind of shaping this where I want. Now that that's up a little bit, I can further refine. Okay, I'm not worried about this portion right here. I'm going to cut that out after I rebuild.
Okay.
All right, clear my mask, rebuild. Now I want to use my selection brush, Control and Shift. I don't want my select rect, I want clip curve.
Okay.
All right. So clip curve starts with Control, Shift, left click, and drag, and that starts the clip operation. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have all three held down already. I'm going to add spacebar
Okay.
to move that. Now, if you notice, I have a line, a dotted line that comes out, and then basically a gradient that comes off the right.
Uh-huh.
That is showing you which direction it's going to cut.
Okay.
It's not going to cut to the left. It's only going to cut to the right.
Okay.
So I want my start to be somewhere up here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And by holding shift, when I move this around, you can see that I'm snapping to 5-degree increments
Okay.
of my angle. If I'm going to continue holding my left mouse button, and I'm going to continue holding my control button down, but I'm going to release on shift.
Okay.
Now I have more freedom. I'm not snapping to any angles.
Mm.
I'm going to get right about here. I'm going to hit Alt twice and drag down. And
Okay.
hitting Alt twice creates a sharp angle as opposed to a rounded one.
Okay.
And so I just dragged all the way down and then released. And just to show you what a better explanation of Alt one more time, Control, Shift, left click to start the operation and drag. I can now release on the shift if I want to, or hold it down. And see if I decide to go back to shift and say, see right there, I'm in an angle of 157.
Mm-hmm.
If I hold shift, that immediately snaps me to a 5-degree increment system.
Okay.
And now I'm staying in that 5-degree increment system. But so Alt allows you to, you hit Alt one time, keep dragging, and now that's got a curve to it.
Oh.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Alt one time, and now that has a curve to it.
And it looks like the center of your curve is where you hit the alt.
The center of what?
Your curve is where you hit the alt button.
You hit the Alt
You
button
there?
wherever you want.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm saying that's where it looks like the curve is. Oh, I got you. Okay. No. Yep. Because it's above that.
Now you notice one thing.
Back
That's
moves.
that second portion where I hit Alt.
Mm-hmm.
This is still being affected. It's
Right.
not pinned in place.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want a sharp angle, and you do want a curve, but you don't want that to happen, then all you got to do is hit Alt one more time.
No, okay.
And now it's happening again, but it's happening right here instead.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, position it where I want until that's correct. And if I drag out further, and I can see that it's now manipulating that edge
Mm-hmm.
more than what I
Yeah.
want,
Yeah.
then I know that I need to come back, hit Alt one time, and then I can continue.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
then sharp, Alt, Alt. And now that's sharp.
Mm.
Alt, Alt.
Okay.
And so on and so forth. Now that just
Okay.
screwed up my model, but I can Control Z and undo that. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I had a mask underneath and I completely forgot about it.
Mm.
So that's okay. I can show you the power of Dynamesh. We can use this as a explanation. So I just held shift and clicked on that eyeball
Uh-huh.
to turn that off. Now I've got this crevice, right? No big
Mm-hmm.
deal. I'm going to fix that. Um, what we'll do is this. I'm going to hold Control, and I'm going to mask inside here.
Okay.
I'm going to mask all of this. And I'm going to unmask that. Yeah, it's back masking. Okay, so here's another option that we're going to need, and that is brush, auto mask, back mask or back face mask.
Mm-hmm.
Turn that off, and then I need to set the intensity of that. Let's try 0 and see what happens.
Okay.
And that did the trick.
Okay.
So I don't want to select anything that's behind it. And see, it's getting real thin here, so that's not protecting me against that back face mask that I just did is not
Mm-hmm.
protecting me in this area because it's thinner than the amount that it can protect against.
Okay.
So that's okay. I'm going to just keep this, and I'm going to unmask that right there. Now, you can see that it's encroaching onto that side. So instead,
Mm-hmm.
I'll use the mask lasso, Control and Alt, and start at the bottom here, drag around,
Oh, okay.
and unmask. And now I have the majority of everything that I want is masked.
Mm-hmm.
And if I want, I can also go to Mask, Sharpen, Grow, Sharpen.
Hmm.
And I'm doing this a few different times. Control and Alt.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. We've kind
Mm.
of refined
You
that.
Yeah, you exceeded the edges to get it thicker where it was spotty on the inside, and then you
Uh-huh.
took the
And then I just unmasked it away.
yeah.
Now I can invert my mask. Oops, I drew a little bit. So I want to Control, Tap, invert my mask, move. Actually, I can use my Move tool and close these walls in.
Oh wow.
Just overlap, make them go past each other.
Mm-hmm.
Unmask, rebuild, and now I've fixed a very large portion of it right there.
Okay.
That's the power of Dynamesh.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy powerful.
And you sure as hell ain't worried about the inside too much,
Uh,
because you're gonna put it on.
yeah, I actually did not have to fix any of this if I didn't want to, because
Mm-hmm.
this is going to get merged at a later point
Right.
with the bottom. It's all going to get merged together, and
Mm-hmm.
you're only going to have your surface. But this portion right here was visible,
Okay.
so that needed to be fixed. But now we can fix that. Mask lasso from the side, and just mask this portion here. See what we've got. Okay, so it's a combination of the arrow to move
Hmm.
and this little block to scale.
Okay.
Move, scale, move, scale. And then I can get it someplace relatively close. I'm actually going to move it out here. Unmask, rebuild, not concerned about it.
Hmm.
And then we're just going to take this angle that we have right here
Hmm.
and match that. So Control and Shift, start my operation. I'm going to start from right here. And holding Shift is putting me either too far this way or too far this way. So I'm going to release on Shift, get the angle that I want, and then
Okay.
left click or release left click. And that has chopped off everything I don't want.
Okay.
Now, there's a little bit of a hole right there, but
Hmm.
Dynamesh is not going to fool with that. It's just going to merge. So I'm going to go one more time.
Mm.
And now our problem is pretty much fixed.
Okay.
Don't worry about this too much because it's below where the helmet bottom comes
Hmm.
up above that.
Well,
So
there you go.
not really worried about anything below that line.
Hmm.
Okay, so this back portion is still, it's got like a little extra on it. So I
Hmm.
still have my clip curve, start my operation, and release, and clip that off. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. And we have this, I don't know what this is called, but you see it a lot in like Roman Legionnaires and things like this. And
Hmm.
in the game Skyrim, this is actually a Legionnaire helmet. Um,
Okay.
but this right here, you did ask about hair.
Hmm.
Um, Now we can totally sculpt it out of a block like we have, make it a
Hmm.
separate object, and then increase the polys like crazy, and then like a lot of polys, and then sculpt individual follicles into that block.
Hmm.
But it would be a solid object the way that this the way that this 3D model is in because it's a video game and video games usually keep their models very low poly and try to
Right.
make it look higher poly.
Hmm.
Um, but you did ask about hair, and I told you that one of the options that you have results in individual follicles. And in ZBrush, that is called fiber mesh.
Okay.
So we're going to check that out, but not right now.
Okay.
And in fact, I don't know how much time you have left, but we might push that to another day.
Okay. I'm good whenever you are. I mean, I could stay on here. It's, well, like I said, I'm watching and time just flew, man.
Yeah, we've been here for 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to call it a day, we can. It's fine by me, or we can
Well, you
come
got
back to.
something to do? I mean, let's see here. I can actually come back tomorrow. Can you?
Yeah, I can come back tomorrow. Sure can.
Okay. I don't know how my back's gonna do. It all depends. 'Cause, yeah, I don't have a back. The only good bones I have is uh, what are they called? Anyway, I got three bones in the back just good. That's it. I had surgery. But it all depends on how my back's gonna act if I'm even gonna go to work tomorrow. But if I do, then I'll be back at the same time.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, just let me know if anything changes and should be fine.
No, nothing's gonna change. I mean, other than I might stay home, so yeah, I might do that anyway. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. No, I'm not going to church tomorrow. No. Uh-uh. Yeah, I'll be home.
Okay.
I'll be home. And then what I'll do is relax a little bit, get my eyes off of the screen, and then I'll come back and mess around, see what I can do.
Hell yeah.
Because I got a one up here. So you sent me the perf thing
Go ahead and click it.
on the helmet reference. Got it. Okay. Sweet. And then I'll make a file for that, and I'll put all my references in there.
And what I will do with this is go ahead and upload this video to YouTube and shoot you a link when it's ready.
Okay. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, man. I wish you knew how much I appreciate this.
You're more than welcome.
And then, as a matter of fact, go ahead and send me a request for a payment tomorrow, and I'll send you some more money.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. Unless you need it now, I don't care. Doesn't
Uh,
matter to me.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have it now. I don't know. I mean, it's
Okay.
up to you. It's up to you, man.
No, it's fine. Go ahead and send it to me.
Okay.
Set it up as a guest, and I'll.
Yeah. I'll repeat the
Oh,
same process that we did last time.
oh, I got to remember my pen. Okay, I got it. It's
How,
it's
how,
my exo lady's phone pin, so I won't forget.
how much?
Oh, whatever you want. I mean, 20, 25, whatever.